This is your host, Howard Kravitz, and the HHH Racing Podcast. Just for a quick review of Arlington Park, I apologize if there was any confusion. I literally just walked into my house a few minutes ago. It is currently right now 8:05 Central Standard Time. I didn't think there was any chance I'd be able to get back to my house in time for the podcast. And in addition to that, because the races ran a bit late, I did not have a chance to handicap and discuss the Saratoga Late Pick 5 for tomorrow, Sunday. So I'm here. I realize we might not have as many people on watching live. But that's okay. This is going to be just a very short, brief live stream. I didn't even put an episode number on it. If you are watching, thanks for watching live tonight. I really appreciate it. Feel free to comment on the right side of the screen for the chat. You folks know how to reach me, of course, on Twitter at hkravitz. And Twitter today, the first thing I want to do is thank all those people that liked, commented on my Twitter handle. I was very active today as I was at Arlington Park for Arlington Million Day. I took a lot of pictures, videos, etc. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So if you're watching, this is a replay. Um, Thanks for watching. Please make sure comment down below the video player. Any thoughts you had about Arlington Million Day? If you bet the races, if you watch the races, thanks again for following me on Twitter. A lot of mixed emotions out there today. First of all, it was a beautiful day. Weather-wise, it was fantastic. Could not have been any better. They limited the capacity to 10,000 people, which is what they've been doing all meet long. So it had a strange vibe. It wasn't nearly as crowded. It was the crowd that was there was very energetic and whatnot, but it just wasn't the same. A lot of the restaurants there aren't open. A lot of your normal Million Day, entertainment and whatnot just wasn't there. It didn't have the same vibe at all. What was fantastic there, though, in general, was the racing. It was pretty chalky, which I thought it might be. I just want to touch on the two big races, really. Actually, I want to touch on three races today: the Pucker Up, the Grade 3, the Grade 1 Beverly D, and then the Grade 1 Mr. D Stakes, formerly the Arlington Million. Before we do that, I do notice there are some people on the show. Great, we got some comments. Michael, thanks. It is not just you. I agree. I don't know if you said is it just me, meaning that you only missed one day, or if it's just you watching the live stream. It is not just you watching the live stream. We have people joining in as we speak. I just sent out a reminder about 5 minutes ago. This is very last second. I was planning on canceling this live stream completely today. That's what I sent out about an hour ago. And then when I realized I was able to get back in time, I decided just to go ahead this quick live stream. Again, if you're here for pick 5 information tomorrow at Saratoga, I am not doing a pick 5 at the spot preview show for tomorrow at Saratoga based on time constraints. We're just talking very briefly about Arlington today. Please feel free to comment if you watched or played. Michael, appreciate the photos. Thank you very much. Jay is here. Congratulations, Jay, on the pick 4. That's fantastic. Uh, let's go ahead and just talk about the actually before we talk about the races, I do want to bring one thing up. Whether people are going to be watching this live or a replay, there's something on my um, main YouTube channel page that I've not mentioned too much yet. I just do want to mention if you don't mind. So I'm going to go full screen here. This is my main page. If you look at the uh, top right-hand corner there, where my cursor is, just to the right of the managed videos, I do have a donate page. It's from PayPal. If you feel free to make any donations, I'd greatly appreciate it to the channel. If you like the content, if I've given you some picks, today or any other day that have worked out for you, and you'd like to give a little tip, I'd love to. Any donation would be fantastic. We'd greatly appreciate it there. So I do have a donate button there on the right side of the screen at the top. It's very simple to do that. Again, any donation would be greatly appreciated. I just wanted to go ahead and show that to you folks. In terms of my betting today at Arlington, again, it was hard to make money. There were a lot of chalks. I will say, if you subscribe to my race day blog, I did have a bunch of winners on there. The first race I want to talk about very briefly, and we're not going to show replays. This is just going to be nuts and bolts, a 10-minute video. Uh, Shanta Sara for Chad Brown in the Grade 3 Pucker Up, which started the pick 5. Uh, I believe, if I recall. I believe it did. I talked about this horse extensively on my podcast and on my blog. I was hoping to get a better price on Shanta Sara. She was 4-1 morning line. I knew she would not be that for Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt. I showed the replay of her last race, which again she did not get a good number, and I talked about on the live stream podcast on Thursday for the preview of the pucker up how much I liked Shantasara. Boy, she was fantastic. It might not have been the best grade 3 field. She absolutely blew by Oyster Box in the stretch. Looked very good. I think she has some nice upside for Chad Brown. Keep your PPs and your head and your mind uh, to the grindstone when you hear the name Shantasara, a 3-year-old filly for Chad Brown on the come. Real nice effort for her. She won easily at 9-5. The Beverly D. Again, I had a nice winner there. When I say nice winner, it didn't pay anything. But really, it was a 2-horse race between Mean Mary and Santa Barbara on paper. Mean Mary did break through the gate a little bit at the before the race started. She didn't run off at all, but that's always a bit disconcerting if you're a fan of Mean Mary. But Santa Barbara looked like a winner the entire way. And I got to tell you, and I sent this out, the great thing about being at the races is you get to see these all-star horses up close. Of course, I've never seen most of these horses up close before. Santa Barbara does not look like a 3-year-old. She is a big, scopy filly who has a ton of upside. She almost beat Thundering Knights in Europe, and Thundering Knights, came very close to winning a race here in the United States and should have beaten Mean Mary that day. So I'll tell you what, I think Santa Barbara is a serious, serious Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf player come November at Del Mar. I'm assuming that's where she could be going, unless they think that highly of her and they're going to point her to the Arc. I don't know if they think she's that good, but if she comes to the United States for the Flower Bowl or the Philly Mare Turf in November at Del Mar, she's going to be a serious player. She blew by Mean Mary like Mean Mary was tied to a pole. I sent out the video on Twitter. Check it out. I thought she was really, really impressive. Peter Appleby. Peter, thanks for joining the show. It was gorgeous today. Everything was beautiful. But again, just in the back of everyone's mind, there's just a strange, uneasy feeling that this is going to be the end. The other race, very briefly, we'll talk about, and then we'll end the show. I've had a very long day. Again, if you jumped on and saw my Twitter feed that I was going to have this podcast, thanks for joining me live. The Mr. D Stakes, formerly known as the Arlington Million. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. There were obviously not any prices in the pick 5 sequence going to that race, but I will say, for full disclosure, I pressed up my strong opinions a lot, much more than I normally do. I was in line to have the pick 5 10, 15, 20 times, and I wouldn't have made a fortune because, of course, it was chalky, but I obviously would have made a nice profit on the day. I used many C horses as extreme backups, and I did not use 2 Emmys. In hindsight, I should have. Only cost me like $6 to add him. I just didn't see a scenario in which he'd win the race. Even if he got to the lead, he's gotten the lead before against weaker and given it up. So I just didn't see how 2 Emmys could get to the lead and beat this field. My only regret is it would have only cost me $6, and the pick 5, which I would have hit, ended up paying $1,800. So from that standpoint, it was, frustrating that I didn't just add the horse at a C. But I didn't like 2 Emmys at all. I mean, not even a little bit. They walked the dog on the lead, like 26 and 52. The turf course was not firm, no question. but it was not like soggy and like boggy and like horrible. So I was surprised that the 8 busy channel didn't put more pressure on two Emmys. I would have liked to see Flavian Pratt on domestic spending be a little bit closer. I mean, he was only like 3 or 4 lengths off, but he could have been a length off or a length and a half off. I don't really blame Flavian. He's a fantastic rider. Um, he's going to win many, many more races this year, grade stakes. I'm probably nitpicking, but I thought domestic spending could have been a little bit closer. When you're going that slow, you got to feel that. I just think Flavian thought he had a ton of horse and was going to blow by two Emmys. It just didn't happen. And then, of course, the chalk won the last race. So I don't know where you go with this race. I think domestic spending is still the best turf horse in the country, without a doubt. This race doesn't change my mind. What does that do for two Emmys? Listen, if any horse goes 26 and 52 and they have some talent, they're going to be a threat. I would never bet two Emmys back in any way, shape, or form unless he fell into a race where there was no pace again and it was, a lower class. But congratulations to the connections of two Emmys, Hugh Robertson, and bobblehead James Graham with a brilliant ride. You got to give them credit. I mean, he went to the lead. No one came after him. He slowed it down, got the job done. It was just a scenario that I didn't see happening. Armory broke slow, raced poorly. Zula Alpha is done. He's not running well. The other Michael Maker horse ran okay. It's just a dud of a race. No disrespect to the connections of two Emmys. It just didn't do for me. Domestic Spending, by the way, is a beautiful horse. Got to see him in the pack, of course. A gorgeous horse who just didn't run his A race and got caught in a pace scenario. That's the way it goes. A few other quick comments, then we're just going to let it, we're going to move on and end the show. Peter says he'd love to see Althika versus Santa. Ooh, Peter. Althika versus Santa Barbara. Let me tell you something. I'll take Santa Barbara in that race right now. I know Althika is good. I'll take Santa Barbara. There's something about this horse that just really impresses me. And like I said, she's big. She can handle the distance. She's got a nice turn of foot. She is a serious horse. And this is not, I mean, Santa Barbara is just going to keep getting better. But that would be a nice matchup. You might see it, if not in the Flower Bowl. I don't know if you're going to see it in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf, Peter. I don't know if Althika wants to go that far. It's going to be, that race is going to be, I'm not sure the distance of that race at Del Mar, actually. I'd like to say 1.3 miles. I don't think they run 1.25 miles races on the turf at Del Mar. So I think that might be 1.3 miles. I don't know if Althea can go that far. I have no doubts that Santa Barbara can go that far whatsoever. Jay does make a good point. There were some scratches. I thought the scratches of the 10 Big Dreamin', but I knew that horse was scratched before the race. So I'm not going to sit here and say, that I didn't know there was going to be a slow pace. I figured it would be a slow pace. I just didn't think it would be that slow, Jay. And I thought Busy Channel, the 8, would put a lot more pressure or even be on the lead over two Emmys. But I agree. Those scratches definitely affected the pace of the race, no question about it. Let's see. Uh, Peter, wow, Peter. We might have a future bet going there, Peter. Peter likes Althika. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very quick recap. Thanks for joining the show. As I said, next week, you see on the ticker there, the next actual show will be Tuesday night for sure. Tuesday night, 100%. My usual show, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to preview the late pick 5 at Saratoga on Wednesday. The next feature, and I'm hoping to get Michelle Yu. Pay attention to me on Twitter, but hopefully Michelle Yu will be here either Wednesday or Thursday for that main flagship show to cover the late pick 5 at Del Mar on Pacific Classic Day. That'll be the main feature HHH Racing podcast either Wednesday or Thursday. Thanks for joining me tonight. For those who didn't have a chance to watch this live show, we just basically went over the Arlington Million day. You did not miss a pick 5 preview for Saratoga tomorrow Sunday because I had to change the show. But thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe right there in the corner. Go to my main page and feel free to donate using that PayPal button, and then of course follow me uh, through my email if you like. Sorry, wow, long day. hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. Thanks, folks. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you Tuesday night for the next show, a Pick 5 at the Spa preview for the late Pick 5 on Wednesday at Saratoga. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.